Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video. I'm doing a one-page layout from Cincy, and as you can see, it's a food layout. We were downtown and we were happy enough to just walk by and see some food trucks there. And this one had Mexican street corn, excuse me, which we both love. And so we decided, all right, we can do for a little snack. It's not a huge portion. Let's try it and see if it's any good. It was. I could have eaten two, honestly, but I didn't. But I wanted to just showcase it because that was kind of our first real experience of being in Cincy, and it was a good one. I pulled out my food pocket cards that I had to see what is in my stash that would work here. And I actually found two things, but it might require some shuffling if I use one of them. This is the first one, and I love it because it matches this. But then I would have to switch. For sure, the photo's around a little bit, and I don't know that I like this black next to this. I mean, with the fact that I only have 4 slots, I'm not sure how else I would do it. These kind of have to be diagonal from each other. So there's that. But then I also have this one, which I really like, just because there is some red in it. It obviously shows that we're looking at Mexican food, which I love. And I would have a little bit of journaling room in this pocket because I could kind of put this to the top a little bit and then use just a white background or something subtle, and then I could journal down there. Just something easy and quick and call it good. So I'm torn. I really like the fact that these look like each other, but I like this one too. If it were you, which one would you use given these two choices? After considering it for quite some time, hemming and hawing, I think I'm going to go with this one. Just because it's such a good match, and really, when else am I going to use that where it's going to match that well? So I'm going with that one. But I will say, I think I have a plan for this. When I was in San Diego, I went to Old Town, which is very Spanish, Mexican influenced. And I think I can use this there for some of my pictures and layouts. So I'm actually going to take this out of my food stash because it doesn't actually say food. And I'm going to drop it into my San Diego bin. To pick out a background paper for this, I'm thinking maybe green. Not quite that bright, maybe a little lighter. But I don't want to use just white because there's so much white space here. I think that would look very strange. So I can't do that. Yellow would probably be too much because there's so much of it here. But there is a little bit of green. It's kind of hard to see in the photo. But there is green right here as well as here. So I'm going to look at that and just see what I can find. If it doesn't work, I would be willing to consider a white background, but then doing a strip of green washi, maybe. So I'm just going to go dig around and see what I find. All right, I think I'm going to go with this. This is darker than I thought. It's actually really close to the color in here, but I like it. I like that it's got a subtle pattern, so you see it, but it's not totally distracting next to this kind of wild checked pattern here. But obviously this is too dark to journal, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the photo like this up closer to the top so it gives me room, and then I'm going to go into my labels, and I'm going to try to find a big one so that I can overlap here and use that for my journaling space instead of using a strip of white cardstock or some other option. I think that's probably the best way to go. In terms though of color for the label, not quite sure on that. I feel like red would be too much. I could do black, certainly. There's a lot of that happening. I don't think yellow would be good. I wanted to say blue, but I think it would be weird. This is the only place where that appears. So actually, you know what? In looking at this, maybe black and white would be the best way to go. I'll pull those out and see what's in there. So when I went through my labels, I didn't find any that were really huge. I thought I had more of a selection in terms of size, but I guess not. But then I realized I have all this for journaling. I kind of forgot that I'll be journaling up there, so I really don't need it below. But I did pick out this one. And so I'm actually wondering if I should still use it like I thought, but just put a sticker there or stickers. Maybe I can layer that somehow because I do like the look of it. But then I'd have to figure out what else would I do. I need something else, I feel like. Maybe I would do something at the bottom here. I'm just not sure. So I think maybe I'll design this first and then just see where it takes me. All right, I have started designing this. I didn't adhere this yet because if I screw it up, I want to be able to fix it or put something else there. But I grabbed out this little flip book thing of stickers that I have because I knew I had like some tacos or something in there. And sure enough, I have tacos, avocados, chips, and I think this was a Thursday. But I think I'm going to use this one that says every day is Taco Tuesday because it was technically tamale. It's a tamale truck, but you can see on here they had street tacos, tamales, Mexican corn, lots of options. So I feel like I'm just going to go with this theme and hopefully it'll match and work out. I think the colors are pretty good. All right, so that's what I have done with the label, and then I am going to attach it like so. I will clip off the little bit at the end that I don't need, so I'll have a nice little overlap there. And then that's probably all I will do for this pocket. Make sure I have that the right way. There we go. Get that where I want it. Maybe like that. Is that pretty even? I think so. Oops. And I'll clip off what I don't need there. And that's how it looks. All right, I took off the sticker that says every day is Taco Tuesday, and I'm a little nervous because it's a clear sticker. I'm nervous about how it's going to show up on this background, but I really don't want to put a strip of white there if I can help it. So I'm just going to try it and hope that it shows up. Get it basically centered up here. Well, I think it'll be fine. Is that even? I think so. I mean, it's a little busy with the background there, but when you're holding it and looking at the album, it'll be tipped up a little bit. You can totally read it. So I think I'm going to leave that there. Do I need anything else? I feel like I still need something up here because I have 2 items on the bottom and nothing on the top. What can I do? It's either that or I'd have to maybe add something like under the title here, under the part that says delicious. I need to think about that for a few minutes before I decide what happens next. So I have pulled out a lot of my food ephemera things and embellishments to see what else I can do here. And the problem is a lot of these are big. So if I could find a smaller phrase or something that would work in one of these spots, that'd be great. But I'm not super confident right now because the size of a lot of these is just so large. When I was going through there, I was so disappointed because I found this one, which would have been perfect, but the color is hideous. At least with this layout, like, it does not go. So, somewhat disappointing there. However, I have these 2 other options. Now, this is quite large, but it would take up some of that dead space. So, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it is quite large. And then I have just this little one that's black and white that says fresh. And I could use it, but it's black and white. There's a lot of black there. So it's either that or like I could do it there, which I'm not crazy about. So I almost feel like I maybe have to go with that one because of the color. Mainly, the size does work. So sadly, I don't think this is going to get used right now. Save that for something else. So it'll be this one. And actually looking at this, since I did this one to the left, I feel like I should probably do this one more to the right a little bit. And it's a lot of phrases. Like there's a lot of different sayings and fonts happening here. But I still feel like I do need something. The only other thing I can think of is not to use this and just like cop out and maybe use another taco sticker just like in the corner and be like, that's enough and call it good. So if you were watching me think about this and shouting at the screen, don't do it, don't use the phrase, you were right. I've decided it's too big. And I am going to just cop out and use another taco over here, I think, because it's just smaller in scale. It's not hideous or anything. And so I think it's probably the way to go. Let's see how that looks. Maybe I could actually do two there. Let's do that. Kind of maybe overlapping like that. Yeah, I like that better. You know what I just noticed though? I didn't cut this correctly. I've got a little bit of the red edge. You can see the red and white edge from this. So these must have been next to each other. I need to trim that off. But now that I have the taco stickers on there, I will trim that and then everything can go in the pockets. All right, now everything is in its place and this one's done. It's busy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say it's not super busy, but I kind of like the busyness on this one, especially with the matching checks and all that here and being able to see the full menu. It works for me. So here's another one finished for Cincy. Thanks for watching.